One of the bad things about fantasy football is that once we get to the end of the year, the injuries are just stacked to the brim right when the games matter the most. And we have a million different things to sift through here. I mean, it is kind of laughable how many injuries we are going to have to look at, but let's go ahead. Let's try to get through all of them. Starting off, Jacoby Brissett, going to be a game time decision. In reality, I don't want to start anybody in this offense. It's a horrendous matchup. We'll talk about Brian Robinson a little bit later on, but yeah, I'm going to avoid everybody here if we can. Now, Kenneth Walker is going to be a game time decision as well. This will be interesting. What is nice is you have the majority of guys going on Sunday this week, of course. You have no 3-game slate on Monday where we're having to go through and we're having to figure out all these questionable guys on Monday. Do we just play someone on Sunday? Blah, blah, blah. So the Seahawks do play at 3. The only games that are going to be kicking off after will be the Bengals, the Broncos, Chargers, the Packers, Vikings. So maybe if you're looking at this and you're going, Mason, I don't know if I should play Kenneth Walker. Should I just go ahead and play it safe and go David Montgomery? You can play it safe if you want. Will be something that we need to continue to monitor, of course. DK Metcalf will be playing in week 17. Marvin Mims listed as questionable. Jerry Jeudy listed as questionable as well. Now, why this is worthy pointing out, because typically it wouldn't matter at all if these guys are going to be good to go or not. But if you look across this entire offense, Greg Dulcich is going to be listed out in this game, which that isn't a big deal. But you also have no Courtland Sutton in week 17 either. So all of a sudden in Denver, you really have nobody here. So it's much tougher to be excited about any hope for this Denver Broncos offense. What's interesting is with the benching of Russell Wilson, they currently are favored by about 3.5 points in this game over the Chargers. But I don't know. I'd probably rather bench everybody in Denver if we can. But let's move on. Zay Flowers listed questionable for week 17. With Flowers, this is someone that I'm going to need, ladies and gentlemen. Let me talk my book. Let me get this out here. Just 1 second. I know y'all don't like hearing about this, but we are in the finals in 2 Underdog tournaments right now. We are in the finals in the Mastiff and the finals in the Chow Chow. Y'all know last year, I got 16th place Best Ball Mania, won 2 high stakes tournaments, won $150,000 on Underdog. Looks like we're sadly not going to be able to repeat that, but we are currently winning the Mastiff. We have a team that has the Lamar Zay Flowers stack, so we are really needing Flowers to come through for us. I truly am rooting for our guy. And I will say also, of course, if y'all are not already on Underdog, fix your life. We were drafting there all offseason. We did this past offseason, the year before. We're drafted on Underdog constantly. And that's the same place where you have the pick'ems. My favorite pick'ems for tonight's game is actually going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, more than 77.5 total yards, and Nico Collins for more than 59.5 total. And if you use promo code FLOCK on Underdog, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Plus, you will get our Dynasty Fantasy Football rankings. And because it's the championship week, they actually emailed me. Not only are you going to get the Dak Prescott special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard, but on top of that, you're going to be getting the Patrick Mahomes special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard as well. So they have 2 special pick'ems this week if you use code FLOCK on Underdog. So make sure you are taking advantage of that. That is super, super exciting. But let's go back over to the injuries that we have. And you can find that link, description, comment section. Only going to get all that with code FLOCK. But Will Levis, not listed on the injury report week 17. So it looks like Levis will be starting. I'm not super excited to start anybody there in Tennessee, to be honest with you. Raheem Mostert is going to be listed as questionable. This is going to be one of the first weeks where Mostert's not necessarily an auto must-start guy. He's probably going to play, right? But Mostert is banged up here just a bit. And you do have one of the lowest implied team totals that we've seen all season for the Miami Dolphins here, where it is much tougher to go out there and get excited about them in that context. Kyler Murray is expected to play in week 17. Still listed as questionable. I don't know. We're going to look. Hollywood Brown placed on the IR. It's hard to be excited about Kyler at this point, even though he has rushing upside. Zay Jones listed as questionable. I'm not playing anybody in Jacksonville outside of Travis Etienne because Trevor Lawrence is out for week 17. So I think that doesn't matter too much. Hunter Henry listed as questionable. Don't care. Not playing him. Josh Jacobs. This is disappointing because one of those Underdog teams that we have right now. I believe it's in the Chow Chow. We currently have Josh Jacobs. We also have Trevor Lawrence. So we really need a big Justin Fields game here. But yeah, Josh Jacobs, sad, probably not going to play. I don't even know if we're going to see him rest of season. He may have already played his last game as a Raider. I could definitely use him this week, though. Isaiah Pacheco is listed as questionable. I am kind of operating under the assumption Pacheco's not going to play. At least I'm not relying on him. He's playing later in the day on Sunday. Najee Harris, not listed on the injury report. Should be good to go. Not super excited to start him. Would rather not. Kenny Pickett, listed as questionable. Kamara, listed as questionable. Kamara, most likely, will be playing here. Joshua Palmer ruled out week 17. We had Palmer on one of those underdog teams as well. But it's just noteworthy to point this out because you also have no Keenan Allen. So you have no Mike Williams, no Joshua Palmer, no Keenan Allen. This means fire up Gerald Everett. And Quentin Johnson maybe does something on a best ball team. You're never starting Quentin Johnson, though, right? Now, Cole Kmet listed as questionable. Should be good to go. Darnell Mooney listed out. Luke Musgrave listed as doubtful. You have Christian Watson listed as doubtful. And Jaden Reed is no longer on the injury report. So if you wanted to go through, if you wanted to play Jaden Reed with the expanded role that he should have in Green Bay, I'd be completely fine to roll Jaden Reed out there, to be honest with you. Jordan Addison listed as questionable. I know a lot of people rushed to pick up KJ Osborne from their waiver wire this week. I hate to be the wet blanket, but come on. We're not playing KJ Osborne in an offense with a healthy Justin Jefferson that doesn't have Kirk Cousins under center. So I don't care if Addison plays or doesn't. Don't play Jordan Addison. Don't play KJ Osborne. There's a reason we didn't make a waiver wire video this week. And the reason is there's nobody worth picking up off the waiver wire. Now, Jamar Chase listed as questionable for week 17. We have no update on this right now. If we're going over to see what Deepak is saying with the situation, data favors returning week 17 near full production. Now, the issue with this, of course, is, okay, well, he plays later in the day, so we don't necessarily know if we're going to be able to rely on him, especially if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is listed as questionable as well. I don't know. It looks like if I don't know. If you have all these questionable guys that are in a 3 p.m. game, I'm not super excited to go through and rely on any of them. Someone like, say, Mahomes, of course you can start. Rice, of course you can start. Kelsey, of course you can start. But if it's like Clyde Edwards-Helaire being questionable, why even roll the dice? If it's Pacheco being questionable, assuming that you have better options, which I would assume you would. It's championship week. If you're still playing, you should have a good team. There are no bye weeks either. I just don't want to rely on any of these guys if we don't have to. Kadarius Toney ruled out. Who cares? Puka expected to play. Obviously, you're playing Puka. And Brian Robinson no longer on the injury report. It's kind of exciting in that he's back. Am I starting him? Hell to the no. He's going up against the Niners. Pittman is clear to go. Please, for the love of God, make sure Michael Pittman's in your starting lineup. Zach Moss is out. Same thing. For the love of God, please make sure that Jonathan Taylor is in your starting lineup. I mean, if you're looking at JT, I had him as the top 5 running back last week. The game kind of got out of hand. Indianapolis wasn't able to move the ball down the field. I think it should be a much better spot for Jonathan Taylor this week. I'd honestly have him ranked as borderline top 5 RB. Jalen Waddle ruled out as well. Now, it's going to be a very tough matchup going up against the Ravens here, where we said this at the beginning of the live stream, but you have one of the lowest implied team totals Miami has seen all season, if not the lowest implied team total Miami's had all year. So with the running backs, I'm less excited about playing them considering the matchup against Baltimore and the projections. And with Tyreek, you're obviously playing with no Waddle, but you just have to lower your expectations just a bit. I saw some people rank CeeDee Lamb ahead of Tyreek this week, and I'm not going to fault them at all for doing so. And last but not least, if it comes to Tua with no Waddle in a brutal matchup is probably going to be someone that I'm just willing to go out there and say to bench. Hollywood Brown placed on the IR. Maybe you're a little less excited about. Kyler, obviously you're playing McBride if you got him. And then Brissett with that game time decision as well. But I think that should be it for the injuries. We can go through and run through some of these questions that y'all have right now. But if you have any injury questions, please, of course, let me know. And I don't want to remind y'all, because it's by far and away the best time to get on it. Underdog right now has 2 specials for people who use code FLOCK on Underdog. Both the Dak Prescott special pick of more than less than half a total yard. And on top of that, the Patrick Mahomes special pick of more than less than half a total yard. Code FLOCK, get you a 100% deposit match. Plus our Dynasty Fantasy Football rankings and tiers and those 2 special pick'ems. So make sure you take advantage, and also send up a prayer for my Underdog teams right now. I want to take down another tournament this year, primarily for the bragging rights, but 20,000 would be pretty cool as well. But let's go over and let's start answering a few of these questions. This first one coming out from Peyton says a 14-team full PPR format. We have Lamar, CMC, Kyron, Godwin, Ayuk, Kittle, Waddle out, crisis for a flex, Shaheed Foreman, Quentin Johnson. Let's bring home the chip. Very interesting. I'm assuming that Deonta Foreman doesn't come out and turn back into the starting running back. I think that it's going to be a 3-man split backfield based off how Khalil looked last week. It is crazy to say. Full PPR format, I'm going to go Quentin Johnston. Full PPR format, that is. Non-PPR league, I think we would honestly bench it, but it's tough. You have no Palmer, you have no Williams, you have no Keenan. You may have to. Ollie, always happy to see it, says, start a running back, a flex, happy BR. We have Chandler, Mixon, White, Ridley, Lockett, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Demarcus Robinson, Osborne, and Jamal Williams. Our running back, we're going to be going with Rachaad White. In our flex, I think we're going to go ahead and play Joe Mixon. I mean, maybe you could have considered Ridley, but if you have no Lawrence, I'm not excited about Ridley anymore. Now, Saban says, hey, Mason, thanks for helping me make it to the championship. Congrats, my friend. Need to start 2.5 BBR format. Pollard, Montgomery, Singletary, Zamir, Laporta. We started Njoku at tight ends. Opponent has most points in the season, so we probably need the upside. I personally go Pollard and Laporta. If you wanted to go Pollard and Montgomery, I would not fault you for it. But just please make sure you're playing Pollard. Right now, the Cowboys project out to be the highest scoring offense in the NFL. And at the same time, I don't know. I mean, you have no Dowdle, so maybe he sees the expanded role. Now, Thomas says, pick one to flex, Mostert, Zamir, or Godwin. I'm going to go with Mostert, even if we are lowering our expectations given the context of this offense. GoPro Dude says, start Waller, Kincaid, Kraft, Smith, Higgins. I'm going to go Waller over Kincaid, Kraft. We're to go Higgins over Smith if you have no Chase. Smith over Higgins if Chase plays. And then we are going to be playing the Philly defense, even though the Raiders has obviously been phenomenal. Now, Kyle says, Mason, thanks for your help this year. Most likely need upside help. Standard league, Ridley, Shaheed, Demarcus Robinson. I'm going to go Ridley even with no Lawrence, and then Everett or Kraft. I'm going to go Everett with everybody out in Los Angeles. Big Route says, morning Mason, in a standard league, we have Dak, Swift, CMC, Amon-Ra, Kupp, Zeke, Laporta. And then on the bench, Adams, Chandler, Mostert. Any changes? Also the Buffalo or Raiders defense. Let me go ahead and pull up the updated lines here. I mean, I understand that, yes, the Raiders have been absurd, even in a matchup that you'd have been worried about last week against KC. They went out there and they crushed on an island game, so people are very excited about it, and you can't blame them. But I don't know, right now, if you are looking at this, Buffalo is favored by 14 points. So if I can play a 14-point favorite, I am playing the Buffalo Bills defense. I think that they are the best defense in the NFL this week. And then if we were to change anything in the starting lineup, the guy that we would be benching would be Ezekiel Elliott for Raheem Mostert. But honestly, I'm not going to fault you in either direction you want to go there. If you wanted to go Zeke, you go Zeke. If you wanted to go Mostert, you go Mostert. Now, Garrett says HN or Mostert, full BBR. Most likely going to go Mostert. Agent says full BBR super flex. Opponent started Flacco and Brees. Dear God. I would be so pissed if our opponent started Flacco against the Jets and Flacco did what he did. I'm sorry, my friend. But we have Allen, Fields, Kamara, White, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chandler, Adams, DJ Moore, Puka. We need 2 running backs, 2 receivers. Our 2 running backs are going to go Kamara White. Our 2 receivers are going to be going Moore, Puka. And if you needed a flex, you're going to go Adams, my friend. But obviously, you'd play the quarterback in the super flex over him. Trevor says 12-team PPR start 2. Brian Robinson, Myers, and DeMarcus Robinson. I'm going to go with Myers and Brian Robinson. Not excited about DeMarcus, even though Brian is obviously in a horrible matchup. Now, Brian coming out says, thank you, non-PPR, 2-2-1. Cup, Puka, Diggs, St. Brown, Kyron, Montgomery, Zamir, Mixon, Pollard. And then for defense, are we going to go with Chicago or Las Vegas? I'm going to go Chicago, where you have Atlanta with like a 17-point implied team total. For wide receiver, we're going to be going with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Puka. For our running backs, we're going to be going with Pollard, Kyron. And then for our flex, if it was a full PPR format, I'd say for sure go with the receiver. With this being a non-PPR league, if you wanted to go with either Zamir or David Montgomery, I think it's completely up to you. As long as you're playing Pollard, Kyron, Puka, St. Brown, I think for your flex spot, you can't really go wrong with anybody else there as your options. Tommy says full PPR 2-2-1. We have Fields, Hall, Kyron, Jefferson, Nico, JT. Puka on the bench. Should we start Puka over Nico or JT? I would start Puka over Nico Collins, my friend. Jay says start 2 PPR, Zamir, Mixon, and Devonta Smith. I'm going to go with Mixon and Smith in a full PPR league. Brandon says rank the following: Javonte, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Zamir, McLaurin, Lockett. We're going to be going with Zamir, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Javonte, we'll go Lockett, then McLaurin. I think McLaurin's dead last with the quarterback question marks and the horrible matchup. James says Puka or Ayuk for the flex, and then the Chargers or Bills DST. Thank you, my friend. We're going to go with the Bills DST. I think they have the best defense you can ask for this week. And then we'll be going with Ayuk. It's crazy to say. I may go Ayuk over Puka because you have a 31-point implied team total there for the Niners. They do project out to be by far and away the best offense in the NFL this week. Now, St. Cyr says Mahomes or Stroud this week. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 answers. One, the answer the chat would give you, and the answer the majority of the public would give you would be CJ Stroud. I personally just never want to be betting against Patrick Mahomes. I personally probably, if it was my own team, would start Patrick Mahomes. Even if that's not the way we should go about it. But can everybody spam the chat? Would you rather start Mahomes or Stroud this week? Brian says we lost Amari. Do we start Osborne or DeMarcus Robinson? I'm going to go Osborne if Addison misses, Robinson if Addison plays, and then start 3, Gibbs, Pollard, White, Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to go with Gibbs, Pollard, Pacheco. Pacheco plays. If he doesn't, we'll go Zamir over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But please play Gibbs and Pollard tonight. Julia says Baker or Stroud. I'm sorry, Baker or Stafford. We're going to go Stafford. And then Pollard, White, or Charbonnet. We're going to go Pollard by a mile. Kenneth says start Zamir or Montgomery. I'm going to go Montgomery. And then start the Denver Chargers or Atlanta defense. We're going to go with the Denver defense as the only team favorite there. Jeffrey says happy BR. We lost Andrews. Tank, Hollywood, Amari. Line up for the champ. Oh, we lost all 4 of these guys. Never mind. I'm sorry. That's brutal, my friend. Lineup for the championship is Allen, CMC, White, Cup, Njoku, ETN. Need 2 for wide receivers from DeMarcus Robinson, Downs, Storch, Michael Wilson, Wicks. So it looks like you have no Christian Watson. You have no Luke Musgrave, but Jaden Reed will be playing in Green Bay. No, please play Travis Etienne over those other options. I wish we could play Singletary over these nasty wide receivers we're looking at, though. I would say we're most likely going to end up going with DeMarcus Robinson and then Wicks now that Michael Pittman is good to go, but that is not an easy call by any means. Now, Shavnon says Colts or Bears. What's the spread on this Colts game again? Colts 4-point favorites. Aiden O'Connell just unable to move the ball down the field. The Bears have been, I'm going to go with the Bears. The Bears have had a great pass rush. And then Goff or Baker. I'm going to be going with Goff. I think it should be a high-scoring game tonight. And tonight we are rooting for Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Just to let y'all know. That's who we have in games tonight in those high-stakes underdog tournaments. We have a few other dynasty leagues that we're rooting for, but those are just peanuts compared to the $20,000 underdog tournament. Bago says full BBR, Zamir White or likely in the flex. We're going to go White. And then Chiefs or Raiders defense. We're going to be going with the Chiefs D, I believe, right? Let me double check. Yeah, there's still 6.5, 7-point favorites over Cincinnati. So we're going to go with the Chiefs. Now, Dub C. Jones says, pick 3, Barkley, Chandler, Javonte, Zamir, or Flowers. I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley, Zamir, and in a full PPR format, Flowers, non-PPR, Javonte. Now, Rob says, PPR, start 2 running backs and a tight end. We have Saquon, Gibbs, JT, Eckler, Laporta, McBride. Worried about starting too many Lions. St. Brown, Zamir, Noah Brown, or DeMarcus. We're going to go St. Brown by a mile there. And then we're going to be going with Gibbs, JT at running back. And then for our tight end, we're going to be going with Laporta, McBride. It is up to you. I think you can go either way. I would go Laporta just because I think it's going to be in the higher offense. Okay. Now, first of his name says 5 out of 8 in the championship. That is incredible, my friend. Full BBR, all 3 teams. Pick 3. Mostert, White, Eckler, Pollard, Montgomery. So we need to pick 3 here. We're going to be going with Pollard, Mostert, Montgomery, Eckler will be up to you. Second one, White, Montgomery, Chase. I don't know exactly how many we need here. I would rank them Chase, Montgomery, White. And third, Zamir or Chase. We'd go Chase. But of course, we're going to have to monitor to make sure that Chase is good to go. He has not been cleared just yet. Give more. Happy to see my guys. This full BBR. Puka, Saquon, Bijan, Collins. We got to sit 1. I'm excited about Collins with a fully healthy Stroud and obviously no Tank Dell as well. But I think we have to go through. I think we have to sit Collins. I mean, if we're looking at the running backs that have the 3-down workloads, I think it'd be very difficult to sit them in favor of a wide receiver with a high ceiling. But CR says pick 4, Kupp, Puka, Saquon, Pittman, Zamir, Kamara. So we have to bench 2 guys. We're going to bench Zamir here relatively easily. And then between Kamara, Puka, Kupp, Saquon, Pittman, I think our other guy that we're going to bench will be Kupp. Terry says, Eckler, Zamir, Metcalf in the flex, full BBR, hug him. Hug him, my friend. Full BBR format. We're going to go Eckler. Freddie says, should we bench Saquon for Zamir? Nope, play Saquon. We have Kyron and Gibbs also. Please make sure you're playing Kyron and Gibbs over all those guys, though. Now, Peyton says, Aubrey or Tucker? I am not going to be able to help you with kickers. I know Aubrey's been crushing this year. As you can tell by the beanie, Hook 'em Lawrence. I kind of want to just say Justin Tucker. Chiefs or Raiders defense, we will go with the Chiefs defense as 4-point favorites. I know the Raiders defense has been great, but they're 4-point dogs here against Indy. You have like a 23.5 point implied team total for the Colts. So while, yeah, the Raiders defense has been great, I think you could easily see them coming back down to earth. Now, Gavin, happy to see us, says, Happy New Year, Mason. I hope this next year is amazing for you and your channel. I'm in the Super Bowl. We need to start 1 to go with Ayuk, St. Brown, Smith, DJ. Okay, and Smith. Are we going to go DJ Moore, Nico, or Gabe Davis? Thanks again. Thank you so much, my friend. I don't think you make a wrong call as long as you do not play Gabe Davis. It's either going to be DJ Moore or Nico Collins. I probably go Nico Collins with no Tank Dell and with CJ Stroud good to go. But to be honest with you, I also wouldn't mind if you wanted to play DJ Moore over Devonta Smith. So as long as you don't play Gabe Davis, I don't think you can make a wrong call there. Our Gravy says 4-point passing touchdown. We have Purdy, Fields, Stroud. 31-point implied team total for Purdy. Happy BR, Walker, Clyde, Edwards-Helaire, or Flowers. We'll go Walker if he plays. Flowers if he doesn't. If Walker's out, Charbonnet, Flowers, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Javonte. I would go Charbonnet. I mean, if Walker's out, Charbonnet is a must-start guy. If you were looking at Charbonnet, he'll have every single touch in this backfield, essentially, with all the targets. Between Purdy, Fields, Stroud, obviously nobody wants to start Purdy based off what happened this past week, but it's just the best matchup you could possibly ask for. So I know it sounds crazy, but I kind of want to go through and play Brock Purdy. I know it's nuts to say that, though. C. Diesel says 12-team PPR start Chuba or Ridley in the flex. I'm going to go Chuba now that you have no Lawrence. Hidden Jim says PPR start 2, Myers, Pickens, or Deontay. I'm going to go with Pickens and Myers, but please lower your expectations compared to what Pickens did last week. D. Whitmore says, Brother Man made 2 out of 3 championships. Third league, I had the most points for, missed the playoffs. Oh my gosh. Give Moore is just like that as well. He is in the championships of all his leagues, but the one that he missed, he had the most points in the league, didn't make the playoffs. That is just brutal, my friend. Need help with the flexes. League 1, Happy BR, HN or Thielen. I'm going to go HN. Tough matchup, but he is another week removed from his injury, so you can assume that maybe he's a little bit healthier than he was. And then JSN or Deontay, good luck in your leagues. No, good luck, my friend. So JSN isn't fully healthy, which is a little bit concerning here. I still probably go ahead and play Jackson Smith-Njigba if I'm going to be honest with you. But it's not super easy to make that call over Deontay Johnson. But I mean, at this point, Deontay Johnson really just hasn't shown us any upside. The man can't command volume like he did. It's a horrible offense at the same time. So I don't know. I'm just not that excited about him. But thank you so much and good luck, my friend. I'm wishing you the best. Now, the Notorious One says, should we play Chicago, Houston, the Rams, Atlanta, or any other options? I think probably we're going to go Chicago. Chicago pass defense been great. If you look at projections currently, Atlanta does have one of the lowest implied team totals in the NFL. I think you're going to be going with the Rams or the Bears. The Rams or the Bears. I don't think you can go wrong there. Now, Twisted Folks says full BBR, Zeke, Zamir, or Reed in the flex. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. We are going to go ahead and take Ezekiel Elliott. Justin says, start 2, Devonta Gibbs, JT, full BBR format. Please go Gibbs and JT. Must start, guys, here. I know people got mad at us for saying that the Detroit Lions are going to be playing from behind in this game. They're 5.5-point dogs, right? I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I know more than anybody else, but I am willing to sit here and say Las Vegas knows more than all of us. So they have the Lions as 5.5-point favorites. I'm sorry, as 5.5-point dogs. I do think that Jahmyr Gibbs is in an offense that's throwing the ball often and pushing the pace of play in the second half, and you want Gibbs in that environment. Aaron says, HN, Higgins, DK, Evans, Zamir, Gibbs, Downs, Osborne, Happy BR. If we have to choose 2, 2, and 1, running back, we are to be going with Gibbs and Zamir. No, we're going to go Gibbs. Zamir, HN, up to you. Wide receiver, go with Evans, Higgins, and then in the flex, probably DK. Just please make sure you're playing Gibbs. And then Pitts or McBride. Oh, go McBride. Not even close. I know Pitts had a good week last week, and I had Pitts on a few dynasty teams, so I'm hoping Pitts does well. But yeah, it's hard to put Pitts anywhere close to McBride at this point. Now, Solo says, Happy BR, we need a running back and a flex. Mostert, Rice, and James Cook. I'm going to be going Rice and James Cook with tough matchup for Mostert. Dirtbike Addict says, full BBR, Higgins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Zamir White, keep one on the bench. I think we're going to be benching Clyde Edwards-Helaire here. The thing is, even if Pacheco were to miss, Clyde Edwards-Helaire himself doesn't look to be fully healthy. So I don't necessarily know how excited we can be to throw out a Clyde Edwards-Helaire at less than 100%. But Saint Cyr says Raiders, Colts, or Ravens defense. Ooh. I'm going to go with the Colts defense, but it is a very interesting question. Aaron says, pick 2 wideouts. Okay, yeah, that's what we assumed. That's what we did, my friend. Now, FIBA says, Walker or Noah Brown for the flex. Happy BR for the championship. We're going to go with Kenneth Walker. Now, the Bass Man coming out saying, the Best Man, I apologize. We used to have someone in the live stream a lot called the Bass Man, but saying, triple flex, full BBR, last spot, Zamir or Warren. I will go Zamir White under the assumption that you have no Josh Jacobs, who is listed as doubtful right now. We also have Adams, if that makes a difference. It doesn't make a difference, my friend. Just means that we have one less game that we are watching and sweating. But I'm wishing the best of luck. And yeah, I guess we're going for the Raiders this week. D. Whitmore says, Raiders or Colts defense? We're going to be going with the Colts defense. Appreciate everything. Appreciate you. I know the Raiders have been the best defense over the past few weeks. It's just hard to imagine that keeping up. Now, the Notorious one says also in the flag, Zeke, Connor, Zamir, or Shaheed. We're going to go Ezekiel Elliott. Francisco says, full BBR, Zeke, Pacheco, or Montgomery. Got to pick two. We're going to go with Zeke and Montgomery. Jordan says, start 3, James Cook, Taylor, Bijan, and Kupp. We're going to go with all 3 running backs. Hans says, full BBR, Higgins or Achane. I'm going to be going Higgins. Broncos or Raiders DST. I'm going to go with the Broncos DST, where the Chargers have one of the lowest implied totals of the week. You have the Broncos as 3.5-point favorites, whereas the Raiders are 4.5-point dogs. I know we've been saying bench the Raiders, bench the Raiders, bench the Raiders, but I don't know. I don't want to play a defense that's a 4.5-point dog, to be honest with you. Now, Ben Morris says, PBR, we need a flex between Adams, Montgomery, Clyde-Edwards-Helaire, Zamir, and Higgins. I think we're going to go Adams if Chase plays, Higgins if Chase misses, but it really does hinge on Chase. Aaron says, Achane, Zamir, Javonte, Higgins, DK, Evans, Downs, Osborne, Gibbs, Jacoby, 2-2-1, happy BR. Okay, I think we answered this. I'll answer again, my friend. We're going to be going with Gibbs. Your call between Zamir, Achane, running back. Wide receiver, we're going to go Higgins, Evans, and then the flex, most likely DK. But David says, sudden out, do we start Judy or Tyler Lockett? So Judy questionable himself. You also have no Greg Dulcich. On top of this, you have Marvin Mims questionable. I'm going to go ahead. I'm taking the guy in the better offense. I'm going to take Tyler Lockett. We have had the spikes earlier in the season. Obviously, you are getting the volatility when we're taking Lockett here as well, when you have the target competition in his same offense. But I don't know. I'm fine going through and rolling the dice here on Lockett. Now, next question coming out from, I believe, Schlechten says, Mason, let's get these dubs. Who do we stack? Do we stack McBride with Kyler, Evans with Baker, or send out Stafford? Okay, so we're starting Evans, McBride regardless. We're essentially determining which quarterback we want to be going with. I would say if it is a 4-point passing touchdown league, Hollywood Brown is for sure going to be in play based off his rushing upside and rushing upside alone. If it's a 6-point passing touchdown format, I'd rather go with the guy that's going to have the passing volume. And I would most likely rather go with Matthew Stafford. So I really would want to be stacking our options here if we are dogs in our matchup. And if it looks like we need to have correlation in the highest ceiling that we could possibly get. But if it looks to be just a close game, I'd rather just play the best play. And honestly, I think the best play here is probably Matthew Stafford. Now, D. Larson says, got 27.5 from Brees on Thursday. We need a running back and a flex out of Bijan, Kamara, Zamir, DJ Moore. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, my friend. I'm going to be going with both running backs. We're going to be taking Bijan and Kamara. If you wanted to pivot from Bijan to DJ Moore, I would not fault you for that at all. Now, Kiever says, start one flex, Montgomery, Mixon, or Brian Robinson. Full PPR format, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Joe Mixon. If it was a non-PPR league, we may go Montgomery, just given the fact that the offense is going to score more points. It projects out that way. Now, Nightmare says non-PPR, Stafford, Brees, Gibbs, Rice, Puka, Sam, Pollard, Moody, and the Jags defense. On the bench, we have Kyler, Lamar, St. Brown, Evans, Bills. Oh my gosh, great defense. Oh yeah, for sure. Please go out there and put the Bills defense in. The Bills are favored by 14 points right now. One of the best spots you could ask for. Saying scared to play 3 Lions. I don't think you should be scared to play 3 Lions. Please play Amon-Ra St. Brown here. I'd play St. Brown over either Pollard or Rice. Most likely over Rice, given the fact that this is going to be a non-PPR format. And then I'd also consider playing Lamar over Stafford if it was a 4-point passing touchdown league. But if it's a 6-point passing touchdown league, I think keep Stafford in. So yeah, I'd most likely take out Rice, put in St. Brown, and then take out Stafford, put in Lamar if it's a 4-point passing touchdown format, and for sure play the Bills defense. Vic says, Mixon or A.J. Brown for the flex. We're going to go A.J. Brown. Now, Tyron says, need a flex, full BBR, Zeke, Zamir, Edwards, Shaheed, or Cooks. Give me Ezekiel Elliott. He has the usage in the red zone, the usage as a receiver, even if his offense is absolute dog water. Now, Tank Tone says, Olave or Barkley, we're going to go Barkley, or Zamir White, we're going to go Barkley over all those guys. I understand that, yes, Zamir White had a great week last week, but at the same time, I mean, it's just a tough spot to project that out when last week they didn't have to throw the ball at all. Like, it was a super weird game environment against KC. It's hard to assume that Zamir is going to have that same workload. But Dr. KK says, happy BR start to Bijan, Rice, or Ayuk. I think we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Ayuk, and honestly, Bijan, Rice, it is up to you. I may just go ahead and take Bijan. The thing with Ayuk is going to be a must-start guy this week, despite not really playing well last week. Beautiful matchup going up against Washington, where you currently do have them projected out to be the best offense in the NFL. Now, Plumpy Lump says, opponent has Gibbs, Montgomery, White, or Achane. Opponent is Gibbs, or we're going to go Montgomery, White, or Achane. If that's Rashad, we go Rashad White easily. If that is Zamir, I honestly may go David Montgomery in a happy PR format. Tough spot. But Work says bench 1, Achane, Connor, Javonte, Shaheed, Khalil, likely. Khalil's very difficult to project out if you are getting Deonta Foreman back in this game. I honestly, if it's a full PBR format, probably go ahead and bench Khalil Herbert. If it was a non-PBR format, I think you potentially bench Shaheed. I do think it matters your scoring there. But Dynasty Trades in 5 says, good luck in your championships, everyone. Appreciate your hustle, Mason. Appreciate you. And I'm excited now that the season's winding down so I can fire up your live streams and start learning some real advice here. But thank you so much for stopping by, my guy. But Schlechten says again, follow up. Pick a flex. Javonte Jones, Jameson. We need high upside. I'm actually going to go with Aaron Jones based off the workload that we had this past week. I mean, I was hesitant to play Aaron Jones just given the fact that, I mean, this is someone that's been very volatile throughout the course of the season. The majority of those games, obviously, giving you not much. This coaching staff's been quick to put a little, I don't even know, put him on a snap count. Make sure that he is fully healthy before they actually give him a large role here. But after seeing the workload that we had last week, I'm more confident with Aaron Jones. But now Nick says, PBR, pick a flex, Connor, Zeke, Higgins, or Singletary. Thanks. Thank you, my friend. And we are going to go ahead. We will take Ezekiel Elliott here. Happy says full BBR start 2, Achane, Zamir, Cook, and Connor. I'm going to go with Zamir and James Cook. If you wanted to go Achane, not going to fault you at all. James Conner's a little bit of a tough sell now that we have the injuries in Arizona and a tough matchup at the same time. Now, Will says Stroud or Baker. Give me Stroud. The Rams or the Ravens, DST. Give me the Rams. Achane or Swift. Give me Swift. And then flex Moore, Reed, or Connor. We're going to flex DJ Moore. Two Gender says, if no Jacobs, Zamir or DJ Moore for the flex. I'm going to go DJ Moore, my friend. Brandon says, start the Raiders, Broncos, Jags, or Colts DST. I'm honestly going to go ahead and take the Broncos DST, where the Chargers project out to be a bottom 3 offense in the NFL this week. D. Larso says, how are we feeling? We have Dak, Brees, Kamara, Lamb, Puka, Kincaid, Bijan, or DJ Moore. Opponent has Fields. Give me Dak over Fields. Javonte, give me Brees way over Javonte. Singletary, give me Kamara over Singletary. Jefferson, give me Lamb over Jefferson. Ridley, give me Puka over Ridley. The only spot they are beating you at right now is tight end with Laporta. And with the start that we had from Brees Hall as well, I think you have it in the bag. I would put you as the favorite pretty much in every individual matchup there, to be honest. Dirt Bike Addict says, I meant pick one PBR, Higgins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Zamir White. I'm very sorry, my friend. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be taking T. Higgins easily if you have no Jamar Chase. Now, if Chase ends up playing, it will be a little bit of a tougher spot where if you wanted to pivot over to someone like Zamir, pivot over to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If you had no Pacheco, I'd be completely fine with it. I would probably go CEH over... I'm sorry, I probably would go White over CEH, however, with CEH himself being a little bit banged up as well. So I'd go Higgins with no Chase, plan A. If Chase plays and you want to pivot over to White, you can. Now, Aaron says, what does your art say on HN or Zamir White? I'm an underdog. This will be my third championship in 4 years if I win. Let's go. I think you probably go with Zamir White over HN. It's scary to say because obviously we've seen the ceiling that HN has. I think that HN's going to be healthier this week and most likely have a larger workload overall compared to what we've seen over the past few. But with that being said, Zamir White, we've seen the workload. Zamir White does have a better matchup, but Zamir White's still going to be in a worse offense. So what I do with my own teams is 9 times out of 10, I'm going to take the guy with the volume. I think Zamir White's most likely to have more volume than HN, but at the same time, we've seen the absurd ceiling that HN has. Now, X-Men says, full BBR, 2 running backs, 2 flex. Henry, Swift, Connor, Montgomery, Zeke, Charbonnet. If Walker's out, big money on the line. Love you. Ravens, Bears, Jags, or Vikings defense. Thank you so much, my friend. We are going to go with the Bears DST. We are to be going with Swift, Zeke at running back. For our 2 flexes, we're going to be going with Henry and Charbonnet. Actually, no. Go with Montgomery because Montgomery plays the night. And then between Henry, Charbonnet, if Walker plays, I'm going to go Henry. If Walker misses, I'm going to go Charbonnet. I know it is weird to say, but I mean, if Zach Charbonnet is the starting running back there are very few running backs I'd rather have over him because it's no longer going to be a 50-50 backfield split in that instance. It will be a straight up 3-down workload for Charbonnet, including the receiving role. Now, Evo says a full BBR for the championship. 1 quarterback, 2 running back, and a flex. And a defense. Carr, Kyler. Give me Kyler. Henry, Jones, HN. Give me Jones, HN. And then for the flex, we are going to go with Derrick Henry. Go all 3 running backs for 2 running backs and a flex. And then for the defense, we're going to go with the Rams there. Now, Iran says, how BBR start 3? Diggs, Higgins, DJ Moore, DeMarcus Robinson, Shaheed. Thanks for the help. Let's get these championships. Let's get them, my friend. Don't overthink it. Bench Robinson and bench Shaheed. Play the first 3 guys. Reggie says, Dallas or Jacksonville's defense? I'm torn. Let me pull up the updated spread. I mean, obviously, Jacksonville has a great matchup going up against Carolina here. Actually, you have Jacksonville still favored by 4 points. So I'd probably go Jacksonville here. And yeah, that earlier question that we answered with the Jags or Bears defense, I got to take that back. If Jacksonville's still favored by 4 points with no Lawrence, we have to go ahead. We have to take Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's the top defense then. Reggie, so our next question coming out from, I believe, Roy says, pick 1 for wide receiver 3. Zay, Brandon, George, Judy, Quentin. I think I probably take Cooks just for the ceiling with him being in the second best offense this week from projections. If you wanted to go Judy with no Sutton and a banged up Mims, you can. But Judy himself is not fully good to go. Burns says, a Ridley or Singletary for flex? No, Lawrence. Give me Singletary easily. Eric says, Montgomery or Connor? Give me Montgomery. Singletary or HN? Give me Singletary. Boogie says, Mason, thanks for everything. Championship round, full BBR. Start 1, Kelsey McBride. Give me Kelsey. Start 2, Eckler, Swift, Reed, Jones, Chuba. Give me Swift and honestly Eckler, assuming it is a full PPR format, especially if you have no receivers healthy in Los Angeles. You would assume that Eckler has that role as a receiver. But of course, if you have assumed that at any point with Eckler this year, we've probably been wrong. But thank you so much, my friend. And Vic says, thanks for your help this year, Mason. Looking to take the W this week in the championship game. Good luck, everyone. Yes, good luck, everyone. Thank you so much for rocking with us all season. And we went like 245 days in a row, live streaming every day. And there is no way I could have done it without y'all. So thank you so much for everybody hanging out with us all season. I'm really wishing you all the best of luck. And also, while I have your attention, we are going to have a flock meetup at Zilker Park in Austin, Texas, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are interested in a flock meetup, obviously it's completely free. I don't even think we have to say it, but just in case, all you got to do is show up. Very, very easy. It's going to be January 13th in Austin, Texas. So exactly 2 weeks from now, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after. Essentially bring a chair. That's all I would say. I'll bring us everybody waters and stuff. Unless if you want something to drink, bring it yourself. But yeah, all you gotta do, show up. I'll get you all the exact time later on. I'll post it on Twitter. I'll post it on Instagram. I'll probably say it in a live stream or something. We'll get an exact time sorted out. But if you're anywhere in Texas, looking forward to meeting y'all, talking some football. But Triard says, hey, we need a flex, please. Elliott, Zamir, Edwards, Shaheed, or Cook. I'm going to go James Cook for the flex, but even if he disappointed last week, he did still have like 20 carries. Ryan says, Tua or Stafford? Give me Stafford. Opponent has Hill and they get to offset any touches. I just play the best plays. I mean, just go Stafford. And then Pollard or White. If it's Zamir White, give me Pollard. If it's Rashad White, give me Rashad. Now, Michael says, full BBR. We need to start 2 of these 4 receivers. Chase, Cooks, Myers, Judy. We're going to go with Chase, Judy, and then Myers is a backup option with Cooks playing tonight. But yeah, I'm willing to roll the dice on Chase if those are options. Tyler says, Mason, thanks for all your help this year. 14-team PBR championship. Do we start Laporta, McBride? Appreciate you, my friend. I'm going to go Laporta just because it's supposed to be such a high-scoring game here tonight. And also it's fun. I mean, we get the Island game. Tough matchup on the other end for McBride. Dave says, have BBR White, Jones, Ridley, or Flowers at the flex. If that's Zamir, we're going to go Jones. If it's Rashad, we're going to go Rashad. Joseph says, Zeke or Pollard. Give me Pollard. Then choose 3, have BBR. HN, Eckler, Ridley, Cooks, Reed. We're going to go HN, Eckler, Ridley. If you wanted to play Reed over Ridley, I wouldn't fault you for that. With obviously no Lawrence in here at QB. Now, Sebastian says, lost in the semis, but it was a fun ride. Thank you for all the help. I can't wait for next year. No, thank you so much for rocking with us, my friend. And if you get into a Dynasty League this offseason, of course, just look up Dynasty Football Flock, and we'll be here all offseason. Not on this channel, but on that one. But Eddie says, full BBR, Connor Montgomery or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to go with Montgomery. James says, have BBR Everett or Likely. Give me Likely, even with the injuries in Los Angeles. Joseph says Waller, Henry, or Everett. Give me Everett there. Drewski says Puka or Evans. Ooh. Very tough, but I think we are going to go ahead. We are going to take Evans over Puka. Very tough. Julian says start 2 PBR, Olave, Rice, and Nico. Give me Rice and Nico. I think now that we have confirmation that Nico is fully good to go and CJ Stroud's fully good to go, I think we got to play Nico. Now, Turner says 3 years later, trying to three-peat. Best Ball Mania eliminated last week. JSN at the flex. Because Keenan and Waddle, thanks for everything. Good luck. Good luck, my friend. Sorry to hear you got bounced from Best Ball Mania last week. I did as well, sadly. But hopefully you had a nice ride, though. Hopefully. But Jaden says, a full BBR, tight end, pick 2, flexes. Achane, Javonte, Chubb, Ferguson. Starting Nick Chubb would be a bold move here, my friend. Bold move. We're going to go Achane and Javonte. Now, Bodie says, pick 2, Ty, Connor, Eckler, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to go with Connor Eckler. Especially if we already had Brees play. I don't want to roll the dice with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think we've seen the high floor if we already had Brees play, right? Especially full BBR format, dropped 26.5 points. Now, Caden says PBR for the flex, Chuba, Dobbs, Osborne, or Zamir White. I will go with Zamir White there. Isaiah says, first year, first championship. Let's go, my man. We have Hurts, Bijan, Pacheco, Jefferson, Debo, Goddard, Evans. The opponent has Dak, White, Chandler, Thielen, Tyreek. Oh my gosh, you're crushing. Your opponent's a bum. Like, how the hell is he even in here? He's starting Zamir White, Ty Chandler, Adam Thielen, Demario Douglas. Looks like your opponent just got extremely lucky over the past few weeks with the Raiders defense dropping a zillion points. So yeah, you're crushing this, my friend. Sorry if the opponent's hearing us call him a bum, but yeah, I have no idea how that team made it to the championship. Good luck. But I'm pretty sure you don't need it. Pretty sure you got it. Now, James says, start 2, Zeke, Walker, Charbonnet, Zamir, Chandler, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to go with Zeke and the starting running back in Seattle. Got to the championship without Jacobs, Chase, Keenan, and Dell. That is nuts. I mean, Dell's not too crazy, right? Because Dell, you picked him up off the waiver wire anyway. But getting there without guys like Chase, Keenan, Jacobs. I mean, your early on picks, those are crazy. Now, Frozen Grape says, have BBR. We have White, Montgomery, Puka, Olave, Collins in the flex. Bench has Chandler, JSN. No, don't make any changes. I think you're good as is. And wishing the best of luck for me. Actually, no, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not wishing you the best of luck for Montgomery tonight because the high stakes leagues that I'm in, I do not have Montgomery and I have Jahmyr Gibbs in one of them. So I need Gibbs to do well. So I'd leave it as is. I think Montgomery has upside, but I'm rooting against your Montgomery play tonight, my friend. Now, Harris says, super flex, full BBR, 2 flexes and a super flex. Goff, Rice, Swift, Etienne, Puka, Cup. We're going to be going with Goff, Etienne, Puka. If you wanted to go Rice over Puka, you can. But you still have Jacksonville as a 4-point favorite over Carolina. I don't know. I feel like you still got to play ETN there. I know he's been bad, but it's just a beautiful matchup. Michael says, flex PPR. My team is Goff, Swift, Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Lamb, AJ, Puka, McBride, Zamir, and the Chiefs. His team is Kyler, CMC, Gibson. Is he really playing Gibson with Brian Robinson good to go? Olave, Smith, Hopkins, Ingram, Reed. He got the Browns defense. Thank you, my friend. So I'd say he has you on defense. You have him, quarterback's a wash. He has you with CMC. I would rather have his running back room. I'd rather have his defense. I would rather have your receivers and your tight ends. The issue that you may have is Christian McCaffrey against Washington this week may come out here and drop 35 points. Like that very much is a possibility. So I'd be very worried if I was going up against CMC this week. Agent says Zamir, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or Chandler, full PPR. Probably going to go Zamir. Now, Sir says need a running back and a flex. Walker, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Godwin. I'm going to go Walker and CEH. Spencer says, happy BR pick 3. Mostert, HN, Chandler, Charbonnet, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Singletary. We're going to go Singletary in the Miami backs unless Walker's ruled out. Then we'll play Charbonnet over HN. If you really wanted to play CH over HN, I'm not going to follow you for it. I would just go HN though. And now D'Lo Jason says, Superflex non-PBR 4-point passing touchdown. Minshew or Bijan? I'm going to go Gardner Minshew now that Pittman's good to go. Eric says Singletary or Charbonnet with no Kenneth Walker. Give me Charbonnet if Walker does not play. And the Raiders or Rams defense. Give me the Rams defense. Jack says need a flex, Warren, Flowers, or CEH. Give me full BBR format. Just give me Zay Flowers. Make sure he's fully healthy. If he doesn't look like he's fully healthy going into the game, then you pivot to CH. Definitely CH over Warren if Pacheco doesn't play. Now, Mike says, PBR, need one. Higgins, Ridley, Zeke, Reed, or Zamir. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Zeke. You have the role as a receiver. You have the role in the red zone as well. So then we kind of have to take him. But I think that should be about it for this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. A couple important updates. One, Underdog right now has 2 special pick'ems live for anybody who uses code FLOCK on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code FLOCK, you get Dak Prescott more than less than half a total yard for tonight, and Patrick Mahomes more than less than half a total yard for tomorrow as well. They're celebrating the final week of your championship, so please make sure you take advantage of that with code FLOCK. My other favorite pick'ems alongside that are going to be Jahmyr Gibbs for more than 77.5 total yards and Nico Collins for more than 59.5. The other housekeeping thing is we will have a meetup January 13th in Austin, Texas. Please, in the live chat, if you think you'll be able to make it, let me know right now. Let's try to get a little bit of a head count for who's out here. Let me know if you're going to be able to make it to the meetup. Should be a lot of fun. Zilker Park, obviously free. All you got to do is show up. We're just going to be hanging out, talking football. And I'll get you all the exact time on that a little later on, but it should not be this Saturday, but the 2 Saturdays from now, essentially. The other thing is, this should be the last week we are posting content to this channel. From here on out, it's going to be on the Dynasty Football channel. So if you are interested in checking us out through the offseason, talking rookies and everything, just look up Dynasty Football Flock. You should be able to see it. Okay. But let's see. Primetime says start 2, ETN, Bijan, Kamara, full PBR. Thanks. Thank you. I'm going to be going with ETN, Kamara in a full PBR format. And real quick, we see a couple members of the flock that were able to make it to the first flock meetup. Mr. Padilla out here says he's not going to be able to make it this year. I'm sorry, my friend, but he was out here with the original flock meetup. Thank you so much for rolling with us for this long now. And Ryan says, thank you, Mason, and the flock. Championship in both my leagues. Full BBR, single flex. Chase, J.S. Boyd, Noah Brown. Oh, we're definitely going to go Chase. Chase, then backup Judy. Backup Eckler if Chase isn't going to go. But yeah, please plan on Chase in that full PPR league. But thank you again. I really do appreciate y'all, and I'm wishing you the best of luck, ladies and gentlemen, for your matchups this week. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Really hope you have a great day. And hopefully we have a big St. Brown day and a big Jahmyr Gibbs day for my own teams. That's what I selfishly want.